I'm gonna leave this up for a second, and then I'll take it down after a couple.
Everybody can hear you because now we're live.
What? What are you talking about? Everyone
can hear us.
No one can hear me. It's muted. No.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Chris Hemsworth was really tired in this scene, or is he a tremendous actor?
Chris Hemsworth or Chris Evans?
What did I say?
You said Chris Hemsworth. You said Thor. Yeah, I'm sure Thor was tired sitting off to the side in his fat suit. But Chris Evans, yeah, maybe he's a method actor and he's like, I'm gonna go run on this treadmill and then we're gonna do this scene. This is probably like 11 takes in, right?
Probably. Hey, go back to that. No, don't show us. Go back to that photo.
Yeah.
Did you have that TV growing up?
I had something. I don't think I had the exact one. But something similar with the dials, the clicky turn dials, and then it upgraded to the push button thing.
Yeah, I remember my first TV like that I had as a kid. Like, sorry, like that I bought on my own. Hey, John, turn off the image. The first,
kind of
we
funny.
know you guys can hear us. We're doing this on purpose. The first TV I had that I bought on my own, I would have been.
You bought a TV on your own?
Yeah, I was like 11 for my bed. I wanted it for my bedroom, and it was that turn knob. I bought it from like my parents' friends. They had it as a black and white one, and it was like a maybe 14-inch television.
Daniel.
And it had I know it had the dials.
Yeah.
But then like one of the dials kept spinning because the inside, remember it was like a half moon. You had to put on a certain way. So I had to use pliers to turn.
Oh, you had the plier dealies
to turn the channel.
That's some ratchet stuff, man.
Yeah.
I remember. The plastic would break, and I don't know how you would find a new one in back then.
But you know what? I remember that I had to pay them $100 for it.
For the TV?
Yeah, so this is 19.
You had $100 when you were a kid? Jesus Christ!
I saved up. Yeah, I think I had to pay it was like 1988, 87. So I would have been like 12 years old. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. I think that's really responsible of you, Rob, that you actually bought your own TV for your own room. Like, that's cool.
I remember so I was all happy. I was all proud. I had it in my room right by my bed. I could watch TV in my bedroom. Do you know what I'm saying? And then though, when I would turn it off, the image would go down like the little white dot, and the dot would stay there for like a minute, and it would drive me crazy. I could just see this little white dot slowly fading away on the screen.
Oh man, did you ever I feel like almost everyone has one of these stories when they were a kid. If you had one of those old school TVs, sorry, you young cats, you're gonna have to bear with us for a second. Someone at some point, like you or a friend or whatever, brings a magnet home. And what do? They put it by the TV, right? And it F's the TV up, right? I'm sure everyone has that story. And I think I did that like at school. They would have like this big magnet, and then they would let every kid take it home for a day. And of course, you put it by the TV, screws up all the color on one side. And then it was like, okay, TV's done. And then apparently one of us just took the magnet and went back again, and it fixed it.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of like fixed it. It would muck up all the color.
Wow. So sometimes I like to take a magnet to your head and see what would happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure like this stuff I put in my hair probably has a lot of metal in it. I don't know if you guys ever seen those TikTok videos or Instagram videos where they take a magnet up to like Gruber's baby food or some baby food, and it pulls out all these metal filings, and you're like, oh my God, what the hell? I don't know if it's fake or not. So
of course it is.
Research. Yeah,
ridiculous. Come on. I have to have this conversation with my daughter all the time. You can't believe everything you see on TikTok. She says to me, she goes, you know what I want? I want the iPhone 16 because it holds your AirPods. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no iPhone 16 yet. She goes, yeah, it's not on TikTok. It's from Apple. And Noah's like, my son's like, you dummy. They don't have the 16. She goes, I saw it on TikTok and it opens up. You can put your AirPods in it. And then he's like, oh my God, it's not from Apple. She goes, it was from Apple. And I'm trying to tell her, no, they've barely announced the 15. It just came out a month ago. Yeah. So John, you're just as bad as my 12-year-old daughter.
I want to come out that extends and then you can ride it like a skateboard. I'm waiting for that iPhone.
You want an iPhone that you can all of a sudden it grows and you can ride it as a scooter?
Yeah, you're right. Or as a hoverboard. Yeah. Anyways, welcome, folks. Hey, I need to get around, and you don't want to carry a bike with you in your pocket or one of those portable scooters. You gotta, invent a hoverboard iPhone. Don't steal my idea, Apple.
Please, those out there,
please
don't steal that idea.
Don't. Anyways, welcome, folks. It is November 5th. Holy Jesus, we're in November, Rob. So this is the Sidekick Show. Christmas no, you can't decorate the tree yet, Sarah. You can't have the tree up.
I just took the dog for a walk before the show, and I said to my wife, "Oh my God, they have a Christmas tree. Somebody on the neighborhood. They have the full tree in the window, lights on, everything." It's November the 5th.
Yeah. Do you wait till when do you put yours up then? Do you wait till after Remembrance Day, maybe?
Yeah, I don't. I'll now if next weekend. Well, next weekend is Remembrance Day.
Or when first snowfall. Some people are first snowfall, right?
No. For my lights, I'll do it as soon as I can, if like warm. Like today would have been a decent day, but I'll do it next.
Do you do it like years in advance and just leave them up?
No. But for my we have two Christmas trees. We have like a fake one that's in a front window, and then we have a real one. So the fake one we'll probably put up December, like December 1st.
You could have a second tree because you bought it yourself when you were 10 and wanted one in your room.
I have to use pliers to turn.
Oh.
My neighbor,
I got two trees
for $200 in 1989.
Oh man, Lewis, you got to do the Charlie Brown Christmas tree at least. The little guy with the one single ornament.
Do you know how much those are? Have you seen those in the store? The actual proper Charlie Brown. It's like over $100, man.
Yeah, you got to pay for the trendy stuff.
Oh, see, I don't take my tree stuff down until January 1st.
January 1st? Oh, I feel like I leave it up throughout January, maybe February.
Oh, geez. Look at our now.
But in my defense, we always put it up late. So
I felt like last year you were just starting to decorate like Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah. All right. Scott, happy advanced birthday. Scott's turning the big 50. So hopefully he's gonna. Is he driving down here to hang out with us, or do we have to drive to him? I don't know. Yeah, shout outs to Mike, who's got Mariah Carey on repeat already.
Oh, God,
you got to get those spins in. My girl's back on top. They have that video, like they break her out of ice and then she pops out of the ice and starts singing the song. Shout outs to that. I would prefer any of her other hits. The Christmas album is probably my least favorite. I should bring my stack of Mariah Carey CDs in one day. And
you know what?
I actually don't own. No, I shouldn't. All right, fine, Rob. You can bring out your Tool CDs, and I'll bring out my Mariah Carey CDs, and we'll see which pile is taller. And that'll be indication.
Mariah Carey's pile is bigger because she just does cover tunes. Anyways, so listen.
Anyway.
Thanks for tuning into the Sidekick Show. The handsome gentleman now to below me is Mr. John Ho, and I am Rob Gaudette. We are your bizarre hosts, and we thank you for joining us every Sunday night. If you're joining us after the fact, whether you're listening to Spotify or iTunes or whatever the podcast,
whatever.
Podcast
too.
Yep. Caramba. Join us live every Sunday night, live 8 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Today we're going to be talking about some stuff that's kind of in the news, sort of some stuff that. Do you have stuff at the store, John?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of. I got a rundown of some cool stuff happening at the store this week. I'll keep it kind of brief, but yeah.
Cool. And then we're a huge article dropped last week from Variety with respect to the MCU and is it broken? And they go through some stuff. And we had that book just came out a couple weeks ago as well. So we're going to be talking about the article, and then we're going to have a discussion, John and I and all those in the chat, about is the MCU broken? So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. We'll give some thoughts on what we can do, and maybe John and I will come up with a magical answer, and Kevin Feige will be watching this after the fact.
I have the answer.
Wow.
I have the answer.
Okay, is it hire James Gunn to do everything?
I don't know about that. It could be part of my whole Marvel Universe rom-com project, but you'll see. So stay tuned. Towards the end of the episode, we're going to come up with our solutions, and I'm pretty sure my solution is going to blow Rob's out of the water. Reference to blowing again for Sarah.
Nobody yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is in reference to the Sidekick Show After Dark edition, which everyone seems to be demanding. And maybe it's going to happen this year. Maybe this is the year, Rob.
We'll see. The time actually did drop today, John. We gained an extra hour, so it is quite dark outside. Early.
You guys in the comments, let us know what you did with that extra hour. Rob, what did you do?
Sweet fuck off.
Nothing. Slept in. I feel like most of us slept in and just woke up with our phones. And since phones auto update now, you don't really notice until maybe you get in your car or look at your microwave or something, and you're like, "Oh wait, we got an extra hour. Sweet." Where did it go?
Nothing. No. I didn't do anything. No, but yeah, I mean, it's nice to have the extra hour, but then you got to like kind of adjust like your eating habit, like your like everything gets to be adjusted, right? So, but now the day flew by. I feel like it just kind of like went by super quickly. So, I'm gonna tell you first of all, tell me, how did your kids do on Halloween last week? Did they do well?
They did pretty good. We had to. I hate when you have to do this. You have to hop to another neighborhood. Like I like to
Okay.
shop local, but
Okay.
our entire street is like was desolate. Right. Even my house. I left a little bowl of candy at the front door in my Ring camera or whatever. Caught one little kid coming in, grabbing it, and then caught a bunch of older kids taking the whole thing. And then caught one more kid coming and going, "Oh, that box is empty," and that was it. Like 3 kids. So other than that, we went to another neighborhood with like kind of like younger with their friends and stuff like that. So it was their friends' neighborhood at least. And it's a hunt, Rob. I don't know if you still go out. I guess we'll cover that in a second. But it's a hunt. You got to look for the house that has the most Halloween decorations and actually has a light on.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like it's not every house anymore, folks. Sorry to destroy that illusion for you. It's like maybe 1 or 2 houses, maybe 3 on a block. I feel like I don't know. Rob, do you still do the trick or treat or no?
I'm too old, John. I know that I may have a
fine.
Like
all right. Sure. I thought you were just like, hey, free candy. They're still giving out free candy. Let's go.
So you know what? Usually we only get like 20, 23, 24 kids. We got like 65-ish or so kids this year. Like I was like,
holy Jesus, your neighborhood is bumping that.
It never was usually. So it was different, right? My son didn't. He was out with some friends, like at a friend's house watching TV or movies or whatever. My daughter was out with her friends, and she's like, you're not coming with us. So I was, handing out candy. It took me 4 hours to get through The Exorcist because the doorbell kept ringing. So,
hey, shout outs to Halloween still being alive in some neighborhoods. If you had a lot of kids, shout outs to Jimmy. He's been on the show, Rob. You know Jimmy? Yes. He has a 60-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that he inflates every Halloween. You've probably seen pictures on Instagram. If anyone's like, oh, look at this guy with a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, that's our boy Jimmy. So shout outs to him. And I think he gives out full-size chocolate bars just because he's that hardcore.
That's what I did, bud.
Yeah. How about cans of pop? You ever give away cans of pop? Just be like, here you go.
Just fire it down. No.
Have you ever gone to the houses that give the parents a shot? Like, like a shot of liquor. They have here's the candy and here's for you guys.
Something for you guys. That was great. So Halloween was bumping. I'm glad to hear that the kids, your kids did well, and I'm sure you ate probably half their candy already. Here's a couple things I finished watching this week. John, I finished Gen V.
Yes.
I really liked that show.
Recommended. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was surprised actually how much I liked it. What's that?
This is a spinoff from Boys, right?
Correct. Yeah. I was surprised how much I liked it, and I think, John, it sets it up for the next season of The Boys. Like I feel like this kind of really does lead right into The Boys season 4. So
okay.
If you haven't had an opportunity to check it out yet, definitely
is it as gory as The Boys? Like, is it like no kids around watch type thing?
Yeah, don't have it with your kids around or your in-laws or anything else like that. Yeah.
Anyone who may be offended or queasy.
Right. So definitely don't do that. But I saw it. I quite enjoyed it, and I thought it was really well done. I'm also, John, I gotta tell you, I'm actually been liking Loki this season. Although I think I like the storyline. I don't care whether or not Loki is the main protagonist. Like he doesn't. It could be anybody. It doesn't make a difference to me, right? So I think I'm just liking the actual story and all that stuff, and the actors in it. Like Tom Hiddleston's great. I'm just saying Loki as a character means nothing. Yes, Sarah, I did watch Fall of the House of Usher. It was okay. It was okay. I still think The Haunting of Hill House is Mike Flanagan's best Netflix property that he's done. I felt like I watched a couple other things. I watched some movies this week. I did watch The Exorcist and some other horror movies and whatnot.
The Batman? Did you rewatch The Batman before Halloween?
I did not. No.
Oh,
I feel like I watched another TV show and
blasphemy.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Oh, you know what I have been watching as well, John, is Quantum Leap season 2. I've actually been really enjoying that so far. Yeah.
It's a fun network show. Is it a level above your regular network show? Kind of like your cookie cutter.
No, it's kind of that.
CSI.
It's at least last season I would watch it kind of in the background, and I always give the first episode or two like a chance and see if it's worth of time or not. And I've actually made it a point to like sit and pay attention and watch it, so I don't work while I have it on. So yeah. So anyway, that's stuff that I got into. I know I saw a bunch of other stuff, but I don't remember. So
Yeah, yeah. I really wanted to pick up that RoboCop game. Shout outs, folks. RoboCop.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. RoboCop something City or whatever came out
RoboCop,
on
not
Friday.
RoboCop 3. Yeah.
Yeah, not RoboCop 3. We were going to talk about RoboCop today because the game came out, but we decided to switch over to the MCU. Probably a good idea. If you guys got that game and maybe you're done with it, let me know. I'll buy it off you used maybe. Or if you're enjoying it, let me know. I heard it's a lot of fun. You can shoot people in the lower extremities, Rob, if you were interested.
Okay. I'm going to go
Yeah,
buy it.
yeah.
Rogue City.
Rogue City, yes. Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's going to be like a Boxing Day buy then.
I feel like, yeah, it looks like it's a game that's going to be like basically people are going to play it, beat it in a weekend or a week, and then you'll see a lot of either used copies on the market or you'll see the price drop down to half. So since I'm not in a rush, I'm going to wait for that first price drop.
Cool.
So thank you, folks. All right, Rob, you want me to dive into some new stuff at the shop, or you want to?
Let's talk about the things that dropped first on.
Yeah.
So again, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Weird thing, we're still with the strike. There was, rumors that the strike might be close to being done. Apparently, the AMTP have put forward their best and final offer. So the SEG after unions are going to, take a look to see what it is and what they're going to do next. But we don't really have much in way of production news. However, I don't know. It was weird. I feel like we haven't had one of these weeks in like 4 months, John, 3-4 months where we got.
I think since we came back, there's been no real new content. I think.
Right, but we've had this week. We had 4 like significant trailers drop, and we haven't had that in like forever. It feels like it's been like just like the desert of trailer drops. There's been nothing happening. It's been dry.
I think now is the time, though, Rob. You start the hype train now, and everyone's going to be busy in the winter, like December, Christmas, family, all that stuff. So you have to lay the groundwork now for your show if it's coming out February, March, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So now's the time. Yeah.
Okay, so we had 4 what I consider 4 big trailers that dropped this week. The first one we're going to talk about is Shogun. So this is a new Disney Plus series or on Hulu for our US friends, and as you can see in the poster we've got here, it stars one of our favorite working actors today, Hiroyuki Sanada, obviously from like every great action movie that you can think of, including John Wick 4. Now this is based on the book that came out in 1975, John, and was already adapted into a pretty famous miniseries in 1980. With a fair amount of white people.
I was going to say 1980, even if it was like the most popular movie, it's still 1980. That's a long time ago for the people now.
This newer adaptation is going to run 10 episodes, and it's going to start streaming in February. So it is coming, which I know it's like, wait, 2024 is not that far away, ladies and germs. We are closer than we think. We also got a trailer teaser for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Hold on. The Shogun, are you looking forward to this, Rob? Like, it does have some Last Samurai vibes. I don't know if we're ever going to do a Top Gun favorite movies. I feel like it's up there for me. But it is it's an FX network production, right? So is it going to be like Sons of Anarchy, but samurais on horses? I don't know.
I hope so. I hope it's going to be like Ghost of Tsushima, because I loved that game, and I'd be very happy if this was.
Yeah. And it's got the girl that is from Fast and the Furious, who played the random daughter of Han or something. I don't remember what the character was. But anyways, yeah. Okay, sorry, Rob, the next one.
No worries. Okay, so we got a teaser for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is the 4th movie, John, in this newer Apes movie serial or series. The movie doesn't have any real name stars in it, John. Just people that you were like, oh, I recognize that person from this show or that show. But it looks like, I don't know if you saw the trailer. It looks okay. I mean, I don't know if I'll be rushing out to the theater to see it, to be honest with you, John.
This whole series, I've never rushed out to see it. I've caught them on like video on demand later, like Netflix or whatever, just sitting around looking for something to watch. I do enjoy them though, Rob. Do you like they're
I've gone to the theater to see all of the first 3.
Yeah, they're good movies, but I've never been like, oh man, I can't wait for the next one to come out. But this computer animation looks phenomenal, right? The VFX looks crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks okay. We'll figure it out. I mean, maybe we'll see another more action-packed trailer as we get closer. But this one comes out May 24th, 2024. The one trailer, John, I was super excited to see because I've been kind of anticipating this one for quite some time. It was The Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Winston Duke, and Ted Lasso's own Hannah Waddingham. I don't know if you saw this, John. I've seen this
Yeah.
trailer a few times. It looks amazing. It's directed by David Leitch, who directed Deadpool 2 and last year's Bullet Train, just to name a few of his stuff. I mean, he's the, from the Chad Stahelski group of directors, right?
Yeah.
This is obviously based on the 1980s TV series that starred Lee Majors, a $6 million man. John, man, this looks like a ton of fun, and I'm totally here for it. And the Fall Guy is falling into our laps.
I do vaguely remember this show. I feel like it's a little bit like we're a little bit older to have maybe watched this, but I very clearly remember this. I think they call it a GMC square body truck, and I did see a hint of it in the trailer, and also I guess the new version of the truck that GMC is going to be pushing in it. But do you feel like they gave away a lot in that trailer? It felt like a hell of a long trailer. I felt like I saw the whole movie.
I was surprised. It was 3.5 minute trailer, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's a lot."
Yeah. So
I was a little bit concerned about that.
Yeah. Do you remember this truck at all, Rob? Like, is that a thing for you, or is it just me because I'm a car guy?
Well, I think you because you're a car guy, but I like when I see this truck, I see the photo, I'm like, oh, I remember seeing this. Like,
I distinctly remember the truck falling out of a plane and a parachute kind of comes out to like help him land. And the idea is he's a stunt man, right? He's a stunt man that kind of becomes some type of agent or something. I really liked the concept. But I felt like that trailer gave a lot away, unless that's going to be maybe just the first chunk. Like there was a lot going on in that trailer, and I feel like they're just giving too much away. But I'm excited for it. And shout outs to if any of you guys grew up and remember the truck from this, you're probably alongside with me and watching Dukes of Hazzard for that Charger and Knight Rider for that Trans Am. So
now, are you going to go to the theater to see this, John? Will you go to the theater to see?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I haven't been to the theater in a while, but I feel like nothing's really come out. That's
fair enough.
Yeah.
And then to finish off,
Scott, my guy. Let's go, Scott.
To finish this off, we got a really surprising trailer for Marvel's series Echo. Now, this is the character that was introduced in the Hawkeye series back in 2021. And this is once again starring Alakwa Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio will reprise his role as a Kingpin. Now, Echo is a first for Disney Plus, John. First of all, it's their first rated MA TV series.
I noticed. If you guys looked at the end credits, look at here. It says, set your Disney Plus profile to TV-MA to stream. I thought that was crazy when that popped up.
Yeah. All 5 episodes are dropping on January the 10th. So they're not doing a week to week. They're dropping them all in one shot. And it's also being promoted under a new Marvel banner called Marvel Spotlight. Apparently this is kind of like one of those shows where it can live outside of the MCU proper. I gotta tell you, man, this trailer looked way better than I had any expectations that it would. And when you go online, there's a lot of people who are talking about how much they were like shocked at how great this trailer looks. So I'm down for it. I mean, one of the things that we're going to talk about later in the show is kind of the exhaustion of superhero stuff, but this trailer looked pretty dope. What are your thoughts?
So this is what I was hoping to see from a lot of these series that have been coming out, the Punisher, all that kind of stuff. This street level grittiness, and like you said, with the MA rating, like that's crazy. Like when I saw that pop out, I was like, oh, and even in the trailer, there's some guys getting murked, pretty viciously, on the screen. So I'm actually looking forward. I don't know if it was just like the Marvel hate train or whatever. There was a bunch of people posting online that it's trash. That's why they're dropping the whole thing in one go. But I actually would debate that other than seeing Kingpin in the white suit, it doesn't look like any other MCU kind of TV show that we've seen. Even like it does look a little bit more like I guess a little bit on the Netflix spectrum, I guess.
Yeah.
With the grittiness, but it looked really good to me. I'm actually pretty excited to see this.
Now, supposedly Charlie Cox will be in it as a cameo.
Why? Don't bother. Come on.
And the rumor is he's gonna be wearing his black Daredevil.
Oh, okay. The Netflix outfit you're basically
saying. Not the Netflix one, like a Daredevil costume, but it's all like black and red.
Oh,
as opposed to like the really horrible yellow one he wore in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Anyways, those are the newest things that came out last week, John. It was a crazy week for trailers, and not much in the way of news. Maybe next week will be different, but yeah, man, I'm stoked for the Fall Guy. So that's my thing.
Yeah. The Fall Guy looks good. Ryan Gosling's looks comically hilarious, also really cool. He does look kind of funky with the hair and the beard, especially after seeing him as Ken. But it actually does look hella cool too as well. I wish I could grow that out and then have the dusty blonde hair. Rob, I'm very jealous. But anyways, shout out to this comment from Steve. He said there's been a couple posts online that says Sung Kang, Han from Fast and the Furious, is going to be doing a live action Initial D movie. They have done one. I don't know if you're familiar with Initial D, the anime, Rob. I'm sure you're not, but it's all about drifting cars, tuning cars, coming up with solutions to win races in cars that are outmatching the protagonist's car, which is just a Toyota Corolla. But it is a hell of a cool Toyota Corolla. So Sung Kang, who's a legit car guy, doing a movie for it, is very promising. They did a Hong Kong movie before starring Jay Chow, the singer. It didn't quite work. It was actually
Destiny's Child.
No, not that Destiny's Child. But anyways, it was absolutely terrible sauce. But we'll see. Yeah. The live action was not good. Shout out to Mike as well, who probably watched that with high hopes, but it didn't work out. But anyways, thanks, Rob. Thanks for the rundown. Lots of trailers for you guys to digest. So let us know what your favorite of all those projects coming out. Rob, I think it's Fall Guy for you. For me,
Fall Guy and Shogun.
You can't pick two. You have to pick one, Rob. You can't. Oh, it's all four. One.
No, not
one.
Planet of the Apes. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's not Planet of the Apes. Okay, so he at least excludes one. I think it's Fall Guy. I'm looking forward to a good action movie. All the cars in the trailer have me intrigued. Although some of the CG was a little shady, but it is what it is. So let me run down the big event going down at the store coming up this week, and that is the latest Magic set is coming out. It's called Lost Caverns of Exelon. And this is the latest Magic set. We're running the pre-release this coming Friday and Saturday, which is a sealed deck, which means you basically get all your cards there at the event. So even if you don't have any cards at home, you can come in and just bring a pen and paper to track your life and pay the entry fee, and you're off to the races. So I'm just going to show a couple of products here, Rob. And there's a very cool, interesting thing. We have talked about D&D and a couple other Magic items, but there is a special, what they call a showcase set or showcase subset for this particular set of Magic. And this is the ad here. So Friday, November 10th at 6:45, Sunday, November 12th at 1 p.m. But I don't know if you can tell here, Rob, but the theming of this set is dinosaurs. And when I say dinosaurs, what do you think?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So let's see. This is what the cards look like. If you guys haven't played Magic in a while, the cards have come a long way. Art, design, everything has been over the top. Lots of really collectible cards. But this is a buy box promo. You can get it when you buy these cards from any brick and mortar store. So exclusive to stores like us instead of buying online. But as Rob mentioned, he said Jurassic Park. When you think dinosaurs, you think Jurassic Park. And this set, part of Magic's big thing right now, is a whole bunch of these crossover properties. We saw Transformers pop up. We've seen Lord of the Rings. We've seen Doctor Who. So these really crazy, fun stuff is going on. And Jurassic Park is this next one. So look at that guy there. Does that guy not look like Jeff Goldblum?
Oh, yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Laura Dern looks decent. I would say the other guy does not look like Neil, whatever his name was.
Yeah. But it is what it is. And there's some really cool cards themed as this is called a subset. So you can get this in set boosters and collectors boosters. I know that sounds foreign to you guys, but if you want to know more, hit me up and I can explain to you and you can get in on this. And then in March 2024, I don't know if you recognize this dog, Rob. I don't know if you play a lot of the video games.
Is this Fallout?
It is a Fallout. So there's part of their Universes Beyond line. They're doing a Fallout set coming out in March. So it looks really cool. Lots of really cool stuff. So Wizards of the Coast, Magic, Hasbro is doing a really good job of crossing over. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. And this is like their upcoming schedule. You see Assassin's Creed on there.
Wow.
There's Horizons and all kinds of fun stuff. And then in 2024, late 2024, Final Fantasy is going to be introduced into this whole Magic craziness. Yes, so Steve says off-brand Jeff Goldblum in the first image. Maybe. Yeah, I'll give you that. But yeah, so shout out to that. If you guys are interested in any of this Magic stuff, please hit me up. And it's going down this weekend. Or if you just want to collect some cards, it's fun to just buy the cards too. And then I will shout out our action figure photography event run by our good buddy Jeff. Here's a before picture of some stuff that he sets up. This is an Ultraman fighting King Kong. You can see it. It looks pretty dry, right, Rob? And then he'll turn it into something like this.
That's crazy.
With lighting, cotton swabs, some smoke effects in the background. So if you want to learn how to do all this crazy stuff, it's going down November 11th on Saturday. We have tickets available on our website, or you can hit me up and I can set you up with a ticket. So that's some quick stuff going down at the shop. And then here's another photograph he did for these are hot toys, Rob. So I know you're getting into the hot toys market. He has leveled up and gone to this 1/6 scale lighting, lightsabers, all kinds of fun stuff. So if you want to learn that stuff, and you can use it on anything, you can start getting into miniature photography, whatever. These are all techniques that can be applied to whatever you're doing. So yeah, yeah. There is also a Marvel set coming out for Magic as well. It's getting crazy, Rob. So yeah. Anyways, sorry,
But
Rob.
you can cross, right? Those Magic cards. You don't.
Yeah,
you can
all
cross
Magic cards are
things.
fully compatible. So what you're seeing is a lot of people using these cards in their what's a format called Commander. And some people just like to collect. They just collect cards. They come out in these sets and they put them in binders, have fun with them. Whatever works for you. So yeah, turn-based fall. I remember that, Rob. I mean Scott. Rob, Scott down here. Rob over here.
We don't all
Stunt
look
doubles,
same, John.
stunt doubles. Yeah, we never know. One of you guys could be a stunt double. Anyway, thanks, folks, for listening to what's going on at the shop. There's lots of other fun stuff going on. But as always, if you're not following us on the Instagram, Facebook, or here on the YouTube, or just drop by. But yeah, Rob, let's go. Are we going to Marvel? Anything else you want to cover?
There's one more thing that
Yeah.
we forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Today's November the 5th, John.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that guy.
Yeah.
However, you got to start thinking about your holiday shopping now. And you know how busy and crammed the store gets with orders and people calling in. Always like the last week before the holidays. Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? And asking. And it's like, no, we had some in November, but we sold out. You got to get your stuff. So whether you're looking for omnibuses, comics, your action figures, the Magic series sets that John has, board games, all that type of stuff. Now's the time to start thinking about it. Start asking your kids, asking your spouses, your significant others, whatever, or look in the mirror and say, hey, person that's looking back at me, what is it that you would like for the holidays? And get it, because now's the time to do it. And we're going to be mentioning it every week. Get in there, start checking the website, start calling the shop, and get to the store because
things get really dicey, especially around December time for shipping. Normally, I can get things within a week. Once the Christmas season starts rolling in, it gets really hard. And ask people what they're interested in, get lists from them. Sometimes I get people coming in with really vague ideas of what their friends are into, so much so that I'm like, you sure you should be getting them a gift? I feel like you don't know them that well, but that's okay. We got you. We'll help you out. Maybe you just don't, maybe you know them from a certain aspect, work or something like that, but you don't know them in their other hobbies, or you've only heard them mention it. At least you're trying. At least you heard them mention something that they like and you're trying, and we'll do our best to set you up. But advance notice, always helpful. I've already helped some customers started to set things in motion for Christmas, especially if you want something big and something cool. But yeah, anyways, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. All right. We're going to mention it every week. So this is your reminder.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Thanks for the reminder.
Start to get going. All right. So thank you, everybody who is still with us in the chat. All your comments are much appreciated. We are reviewing and reading all the chat, so appreciate it. And again, if you were listening to us after the fact, why not just join us? Maybe you're working out at the gym. Maybe you're doing laundry. Maybe you're ironing dress shirts because you're stuck having to go back to the office. I don't know. But if you're listening to us, we appreciate it. But you can always join us live every Sunday night, 8 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Okay, so the big story that we're going to talk about this week, John, was so last week Variety dropped this huge article with respect to the MCU and what they call like the state of Marvel. Is Marvel in trouble? I'm going to just kind of get off. I'm not sure if everybody had an opportunity to read the article, so I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown. But essentially, the state of productions in current and future. And it appears, John, that what we've all been kind of talking about, whether it's been on this show or on Twitter with your friends or your private conversations by Starbucks, that the MCU is a bit of a mess right now. And obviously, the issue with Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror is a giant elephant in the room that needs to be figured out. Major's trial does start later this month. And while we can wait to see how the trial turns out and the verdict, there's no doubt that Disney has a major issue on their hands with that character and with the actor. Even without the personal issues with Majors, how they have handled and introduced Kang to the MCU has been kind of wonky, to say the least. Somebody I saw online pointed out, all three versions of Kang that we've seen have all died. This article also states that Marvel's trouble started in 2020 when the pandemic kicked in, and the brain trust at the time at Disney wanted to boost their stock price by producing an endless stream of Marvel-based content. The plan was to have a never-ending loop of superhero content from theaters and the Disney Plus series. We talked a lot about this, John, in our shows in the infancy of the Heroes World podcast and whatnot. We thought maybe it's just getting to be, you do that, it's going to be too much. You're going to oversaturate the market, and it looks like that's what's happened. Marvels, starring one of the, a friend of the shop. Unfortunately, the movie so far, the tracking numbers aren't looking that great for a typical Marvel movie, but it could be a sleeper hit. We don't know. It doesn't come out for another till this coming week. So I've got my tickets. I'm going to go check it out. But that was part of the narrative in the article, is that there is some concerns with the fact that movie is not tracking as much as the other movies have been in the past. Now, there have also been, John, numerous complaints from VX houses on how digital artists are being treated, and the in-house FX department decided to unionize. And we've seen the result with the FX teams being pushed to the brink. Numerous shots are not completed. The work looks horrible. Some of the shows are airing with only half-done VFX, John, only to be completed like in a couple of weeks after the episode airs, and then they do an update.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, they update the episode overnight with the completed visual effects. And apparently that was happening a lot on the She-Hulk show. And things aren't better with the movie front either. Obviously, we had the strike that we talked about earlier in the show here. And we had the writer's strike earlier this summer. But a number of Marvel movies have been postponed and pushed back way before the strikes were happening and the announcements of those. Like Blade, John, as an example. Blade for years. It's been postponed and delayed for a couple of years now. And according to the Variety article, one of the drafts had Blade be like the fourth lead in the movie, which would have been led by women who are all discussing life lessons. And somehow Blade is interwoven in these, like
the Joy Luck Club or something.
Yeah, I have no idea. Eat, pray, love, bite. I don't know. Supposedly, star Mahershala Ali got so frustrated he was about to just walk away. I mean, this is a movie that
I'm surprised he hasn't.
Me too, because they were supposed to start rolling this past spring, and 6 weeks before cameras were set to go, they paused production to figure out what the hell they're going to do. Now, Bob Iger obviously has come back into the fold. He's resumed control over Disney. He has given a mandate to slow down production on the TV shows. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about it here, John. They stopped Daredevil production halfway through, looking to restart that from the ground up. Wonder Man series is looking, I think it's canceled at this point, along with a couple other shows that were in production. Ironheart, John, I don't even know if that was removed from the schedule entirely. They may not even release that. We have no idea what's happening with these shows anymore.
Yeah, Black Panther was mixed reception, right? It was
right. Yeah. And the only movie that really made any money was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I mean, Ant-Man and Quantumania made a little bit of money, but it was drubbed like horribly. And apparently the people at Marvel were really shocked at how much people hated the movie. Now, the one movie, John, that could have saved like the current state of the MCU would have been Deadpool 3. But that's been pushed back to sometime in 2024, again, because of these strikes. It's gotten so bad at Marvel, John. Variety reports that there are talks within the last year at the Marvel Brain Trust about whether they could bring back Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, the rest of the gang for a new original group of Avengers movies. It's absolute chaos. And so this is where we're at with the MCU, John. It's not looking good. So let's talk, man. Let's talk, you and I and everybody in the chat. What do you think of the article from Variety? There was the book that came out called The MCU in Troubles as well. Is the MCU in trouble? And if so, how do we go about fixing this thing?
Yeah. Do you first of all, let's talk about just like in general, the recent movies. I've kind of had mixed thoughts on them. I do have a recency bias. Whenever I see something in theaters, I generally have a pretty good time. You go with a bunch of friends, you get some popcorn, drink some soda, maybe add a little alcohol in the mix, and then you'll have even more fun. Like, what do you think? Do you just think? I know you've been a lot more harsh on some of these movies, like Love and Thunder, and a bunch of the other ones. We've kind of gone back and forth in our chat where you're just like, wow, that was like super terrible or whatever. And you guys in the comments, let us know what you think of the current MCU. Do you think there is a problem, or do you think this article is way off base? But I think in regards to the TV, 100%, I don't care about any of these shows coming out right now. But you know what? I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. I didn't watch Gotham and the CW shows when they were getting a little hot and stuff like that. But Rob, what do you think? You're watching Loki. You watched Secret Invasion. I didn't even touch Secret Invasion. I didn't even watch a trailer for it.
Don't. No, it's not worth it. Yeah. So here's like I had always kind of said this. Is I thought when they started doing these TV shows, I got very concerned that it's going to be there's too much. It's an oversaturation of the product of the market, and people are just going to be like, just get exhausted with it. You give them too much of one thing, and you can only eat so much ice cream, and after a while, your tummy gets sore, buddy. And so
Your tummy gets sore. I like it. I like it.
yeah. And so a lot of these TV shows mean nothing anymore. Like, okay, WandaVision, it won a couple of Emmys. That's great. What's going on with White Vision? Don't know. I probably done, right? Where that's not going to be followed up anymore. Or like Moon Knight, you know, it did okay numbers, but are we going to see any more Mark Spector in the future? I don't know. Probably not. Like, I think they've got too many things. The one thing that I really liked about the first couple of phases is that you know, they laid out the plan of what it was, but you only had a handful of characters, right? They had their movies. Sometimes they'd intermix, but they were going towards you, a handful of these characters moving towards this goal, right? That build it up to Endgame. And this, it feels like they're throwing all these characters out there. Here, you got this. We're going to give you this. You got this. We're going to get that. And now, but they're not following up with these characters. Like we've said this before. At this point, there should have been a Shang-Chi sequel, at the very least. What's happening with that? That was like 3 years ago. They haven't even entered production. I don't think they've even written a script for the new movie. Like they announced it 2 years ago, but there's nothing is happening on it. So you know, I kind of feel like it's as if they don't care anymore. You know, like I don't need the spectacle of special effects all the time, right? I don't need Infinity War and Endgame or No Way Home or whatever all the time. I like the good stories. And everybody always agrees, John. We've talked about this. Like in our top 3 is always Winter Soldier because it was one hell of a story, first and foremost. Yeah, it had special effects, obviously, but it was a great story that the special effects helped the story and the narrative along. Not where that you need the story to help the special effects, which is what we saw in Quantumania. And to be honest, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Yeah, it's been a mess. You know, some people are saying, "Oh, Kevin Feige's stretched way too thin." You know, trying to deal with the TV slate and everything else. I would be more than happy if they stopped making Marvel shows.
Like the TV shows, you're saying? TV shows for sure have got to go. Like, if anyone's really enjoyed these TV shows, like aside from this upcoming Echo project and maybe Hawkeye, I haven't really enjoyed very many of these TV shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier probably could have been better if not for the pandemic. But you're right.
Why do we say that though? Why do we say if not for the pandemic? Because
I think you had stated before that the production had to stop at some point, right?
Yeah.
And then they had to go back, and that just ruins the flow of everything. And you can tell those last couple episodes, but this is the problem with a lot of things. The back end never as good as, you know, the lead up, right? They can never. It's very hard to stick the landing, I guess you would say. But you could tell on the sets, if you go back and watch that final episode again, there's way less people there. Doesn't have the same feeling to it. Maybe it could have been better. But anyways, that aside, you're right. Endgame was their big finale, almost felt like, right? And then you have to slowly build everything up from there. Again, some of us probably, like Captain America: First Avenger, we probably poo-pooed on that movie a lot, right? But would you not kill for a movie of that caliber now in this new slate?
No,
I
totally
closest
would.
thing is the Shang-Chi, maybe. I think that's the one that we've always said, hey, you don't. When you go back and watch it, it's a pretty solid movie overall. It would have been nice to see something more come of that.
I find that Shang-Chi was fun because it was very reminiscent of the early to mid phases of movies, right? Like they had found their footing. They knew the type of story they're going to tell. It was a bit formulaic, but it was fun, right? I really enjoy Shang-Chi. And I told you, I actually quite like the Eternals.
I've never gone back for it, but I don't remember feeling really, really like I hate this after I watched it. So yeah, what a good bad guy in Shang-Chi, and you know, they really shouldn't have gotten rid of him at the end of that movie. They should have kept him around, but maybe he wasn't assigned to a project or something like that. But yeah, I think there's definitely a problem. It's definitely not as much hype associated with it. I am hyped to see Miss Marvel, but we also have not Miss Marvel. It's called The Marvels. See, right. I even called it Miss Marvel because that's what we're kind of got a bias towards, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that because of that. But in general, a lot of these Marvel projects, if I didn't see them in the theater that first week, I don't know if I would have bothered. Have you have you bought any home copies, Rob? You have, right?
So
Because you're
this is another
completionist.
thing, which is really funny, right?
Mm.
So I used to like go and collect all the Marvel because I used to kind of rewatch them.
Yeah.
And I started noticing that I started to like kind of wane and not really go, I wasn't buying. Black Widow was the first one I did not buy.
Broke the streak.
It did. And then there started being some other ones, right? And I started realizing even with some of the DC movies, I was like, why am I buying this? Like, I'm not going to rewatch the stuff. Like, I don't as often as I normally would have. Like, I would have thrown. I love watching Iron Man. I throw that on all like as much as I can because I think it's such a great movie. I actually really like the first Thor movie. Bleached eyebrows aside, I actually quite enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I haven't bought I haven't bought Guardians 3, and I like Guardians, but I haven't gotten it. I think like the last move, I think I bought a bunch a number of months ago. I think it was Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and the Eternals because they were all like $10 at Walmart. And I was like, all right, I'll pick this up. But I haven't I don't care about Quantum Mania. I didn't buy Love and Thunder. I will not watch that again. Right? Like I feel like there's some really good ones in there in the later phases. But I think for me, like even Doctor Strange 2, which is easier to say, it's decent, right? Like it's decent. It has some cool moments in it.
Yeah.
I much prefer watching it at home than I did in the theater. But even then, it's you can tell like the script wasn't baked fully, right? Like they were trying to figure it all out. And it was too Sam Raimi-ish for me. And he obviously didn't understand anything about what happened with WandaVision, but this is the problem, right? And so this is what my concern with the Marvels is that you've got these two characters, one obviously played by Iman Vellani, who is like fantastic. I think she's going to absolutely steal that movie, to be honest with you, coming out this week.
I was debating on like, do I want this movie to tank and her to be this shining star that just is the only thing you want to watch in this movie? But I don't want to like put that on. I want this movie to be successful. But,
right.
Yeah.
But I think she'll be the standout. But the problem is that you have two of these characters were introduced in a TV series. One in 2021, like in January.
Is that WandaVision?
Yeah.
WandaVision is 2021? Well,
yeah, January of 2021.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? So like you think about it, like that's a long time for how much has happened since then?
Yeah. 2021. Is that Agatha show still coming out?
Yeah. Sometime in 2024.
Who's gonna care?
I mean, if they continue, I don't think they had started rolling yet. They might have started rolling.
I feel bad for that actress. Like if that show comes out, that's a lot of pressure to deliver on a show that's been kind of left on the back, simmering, not even simmering, like left stone cold to be heated up 3 years later, and hopes that like reheated, like thrown in the freezer and then thawed back out and then reheated. Like how good is that meal, folks? It's not very.
So I think though the nice thing about that the article is that it does give credence to the shit that we've been talking about, right? It's like now you have a professional who's like saying, oh. And the article does have a number of insiders who were saying, "Oh, it's a dumpster fire over there." Their retreat they had in September, being Marvel, they were beside themselves as to what are we supposed to be doing, what's going forward. Like the whole idea of Kevin Feige coming out and announcing Kang the Conqueror as your big guy, your big bad, leading up, and in the way that they've been treating that character. There's nothing scary. There's so far nothing has made anybody get excited for Kang the Conqueror. You're not like, when they were teasing Thanos as your big bad, you knew it was going to build up to that. You're like, oh my god, every couple of movies you got like that end credit scene, something would happen, or the time stone, the stones, something's going on. Thor was like, this is not a coincidence that these stones are coming into play. Like. It was building towards that, and Thanos was like you were like anticipating and getting excited for the character. You've thrown your cards on the table. Is that here's Kang in Ant-Man. He got his ass handed to him by Scott Lang and a bunch of ants.
Yeah. I'm like, this guy's supposed to go toe to toe with like the Avengers, and he's getting his butt kicked by Ant-Man. Like he did overall whoop Ant-Man's butt in that fight, but Major's controversy aside right now, he was one of like the best part of that movie. I think his performance was on another level, I felt. But I'm not going to watch that movie again. I'm going to go watch The Harder They Fall on Netflix instead, or or some other movie starring Majors than watch Ant-Man again right now if I'm going to put on a Majors movie. Might wait for some of the smoke to clear.
Yeah, so I don't know. It feels rudderless right now, and I don't understand what's going on now. Well, I'm sorry, we know what's going on, but I guess I don't understand how they can't figure this out. So that then leads us, John. How do we fix this? And those in the comments, let us know. Steve, Scott, Mike, let us know. How would you guys suggest going about fixing the MCU as it currently stands? Or do you guys think, maybe we need more television product or whatever? Like, what is it? Some people have said, oh, let's do a whole reboot of the entire thing, call it a day, and restart right from the beginning again. And I don't think that's the way to go.
Yeah. I think Mike stated earlier that it was basically less content, focus on. I think we've always heard this: focus on the quality over quantity. I feel like it's step one. Make sure all these projects have heart. Don't just film a bunch of stuff and hope someone can edit it together. Because you're filming so much stuff. I'll bring up this example because I always bring it up. But during one interview, Katie Sackhoff was talking about filming Mandalorian. I know it's Mandalorian, not Marvel stuff, but she was like, we were filming my stuff on one sound stage, and the stunt double doing the other stuff for the exact same scene we're in is filming on the other side, and we're radioing back and forth to try and line things up. That's bonkers to me to think that you don't even have a reference point or anything to kind of go off of. So they're just all over the place in trying to crank out stuff. So I feel like that's one of the easiest solutions. Scott says no reboot, and he wants to see the younger heroes maybe come up or street level. Focus on one of these aspects on your stuff. Your TV becomes a street level. Rob, the Netflix stuff did do well at the time it was coming out, right? Maybe the later seasons and when Iron Fist hit, it kind of just started to dip.
When the Defenders came out, it was like,
but the initial launch, it was pretty strong, right? Like,
but at the time we were only getting like 2 movies a year, so we were like, oh my god, this is great, right? And it was still in the relative infancy of, I think you were maybe phase 2, right, of the MCU at the time. So, obviously, because the Battle of New York happened before the events of Daredevil. So you're definitely into phase 2.
Yeah. What's your solution, Rob? I've got a solution, and I think it solves all of Marvel's problems. But what do you got? You got any thoughts on how they can go about fixing
here's
this?
what I think is that I don't care if people say, oh, well, you're just plagiarizing your own events, but you had Tony Stark was the patriarch of the MCU. And again, it goes back to what I said earlier, is that you had one character, whether it was Iron Man or whatever, you were dealing with 5 or 6 characters in these movies. Guardians of the Galaxy, you had these other ones, but generally you had these 6 that were kind of going in between, these adventures, like reading your issues, and then they all kind of came together. But it was a tight, cohesive storytelling. And I think you have some good characters that you've introduced recently. I don't think we're going to see the Eternals again, but bring Shang-Chi back. Figure out what you're going to do with Doctor Strange. Build your core group again and have your movies, never mind these TV series, have your movies going forward with your core group. Give them 2 to 3 movies each before you bring them together. Do 2 projects a year, and that's it. Maybe 3 if it's a team event happening, right? But that's what you do is and if people say, oh, well, you're just retreating what you've done in years past, okay, then obviously it worked, because what's going on now is not working. So maybe I would love to see Blade, but does Blade really play an important part in the grander scheme of the Marvel movies? I don't think so. I'll tell you what you do also, John, is you get Spider-Man wrapped up for Spider-Man 4. Like, you start bringing him back. You get Spider-Man, your Shang-Chi, your Doctor Strange, get a couple of the other ones and move them forward and get back to what you are good at doing.
Like you said, I guess maybe the plan wasn't there. They didn't have faith in building up these, like, all these individual properties. Like Shang-Chi, you're right, should have a second movie already. A bunch of other characters should have maybe had their second movie. And then you start combining. You don't, out the gate after Endgame, everything just started tying together. It was always everything tied together. You're waiting for that end credit scene that ties this to that. Maybe you got to tone that back and focus on building, like Guardians worked well because it built its own kind of side universe, right?
Yeah, it was because it was
Endgame Infinity were slots between 2 and 3, which kind of is annoying if you wanted to watch that as a separate piece now, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I will just say the last thing I'll say before your suggestion, and I'll pick it back what Scott says. Scott says, "Oh, bring back, start the Young Avengers." My only caveat for the TV series is that I would do then Young Avengers. You know, one with Miss Marvel, one with Kate Bishop, one series, right? 10 episodes, kind of like how they did on the Netflix series. One character, the 10 episodes, then they combine for Young Avengers, right?
Yeah. Build those building blocks again and lead up. Slowly build your season up to another Endgame event. Don't try to Quantumania felt like they were trying to do another Endgame, like right out the gate. You're like, whoa, this is nuts, right?
Yeah.
Whereas it should have probably just been a finale to the Ant-Man's storyline, not this shoehorned in super duper event, which just did not pay off. I'll never watch that movie again, to be honest. But yeah, okay. You ready for my solution?
Yes.
Yeah. So my solution, we've seen it. If you guys follow any type of social media nowadays, this is going to be pretty apparent to you. And this is the X factor that Marvel needs. And it's not that my daughter is pulling from her random shelf. Now, you don't go into this room at all during the day, and all of a sudden I'm in here, and you're here. yeah, your stuff is piled up all over there. But anyways, the X Factor, Rob, is one person, and one person has single-handedly brought light to a already juggernaut of a franchise, and we're talking about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's current relationship with Travis Kelce is skyrocketed his jersey sales up 400%.
Okay.
Viewership is off the charts. Who is not watching Marvel movies? Probably the Swifties, right, Rob? Like maybe your daughter in that category. They're not into this stuff. So imagine if you bring this whole entire market of untapped fans into the market, and that would save Marvel. I don't know if it would be a good writing aspect. I don't know what character she had to play, but there's always been rumors of her playing Dazzler. Remember when X-Men came out, that terrible whatever the X-Men was, where they're fighting on the train, and it was the stupidest X-Men movie I've ever seen in my life.
Days of Future Past.
No, not Days of Future Past.
X-Men Dark Phoenix, right?
I think it's Dark Phoenix, where basically poor what's her name phones in her Mystique role because she was contractually obligated. But there was rumors that Swift was going to show up as Dazzler, and it's always been kind of on this back burner. I don't know if I would give her quite that role, although it is easy to make someone who's not known for acting play a part that basically is them in real life.
Well, wait, haven't you heard the rumor about her in Deadpool 3?
Well, if she's going to show up in Deadpool 3, there you go. That's how you're going to save the Marvel
universe.
As
Dazzler. That's
Ryan Reynolds bringing Dazzler. I would give her a bigger role, maybe. I don't know if you could make her Jean Grey. I don't think that would work. Maybe Sue Storm. I don't know. I feel like you want to give Taylor Swift something a little juicier than Dazzler, but hey, maybe it's Dazzler's time. Okay, Izzy.
So I hear what you're saying. I like it. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds herself and Hugh Jackman and Sean Levy were all spotted at the football game a few weeks ago. So that was obviously spurring those rumors about Dazzler and whatnot. Do you think that? I mean, I think that Deadpool is the outlier. I think that it will. It's too bad it's not coming out this coming year, like 2024.
Marvel needs that Deadpool 3 out yesterday.
Yeah. So it's too bad. So now we're not looking at, it could be 2025, end of 2024, maybe, depending on how fast they get, once the strike is over and they get back to shooting and whatnot. But I think Deadpool could help try to bring everything back, at least gain interest again in the MCU.
How funny is it that this Deadpool movie that basically everyone thought was going to get kiboshed when Disney bought out Fox and all that nonsense, right? Whatever the hell happened.
So that's the other part of it, Ron.
Yeah, it's good. It's potentially you're thinking is the savior of this universe, and everyone's like most hype about it.
But so things aren't working with what they've got so far. We can all agree. But they also have an untapped potential in two different properties, one being Fantastic Four and one being the X-Men. So we know apparently the Fantastic Four have been cast. We talked about this on the show before. They've been cast. They can't announce it because of the strike.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Maybe it's time to get this X-Men stuff going, right? Maybe the mutants will be the ones that end up saving the MCU.
Yeah, in reality, getting the X-Men into the MCU, 100%. And if you attach Taylor Swift is your Midas touch, right? That's what's gonna that's your reboot. You don't got to reboot anything. Did you see the article that was like Hugh Jackman and someone else like Tobey Maguire or something are gonna reinvigorate the Marvel universe? It's like, this is bonkers. But you bring in the X-Men, you bring in Wolverine, and have a Cyclops, have an X-Men team that's recognizable, please. I know some people are going to argue that First Class is one of the best X-Men films. It's not, because that's not the X-Men. If I show you a picture of the guy, if I'm like, here's the cast and stars of First Class, and I go, here's a stack of X-Men comics, you're going to be like, these go together? These don't go together. Like, never in life. But yeah, bring those X-Men in. You're 100% right. Yeah, Taylor Swift is a mutant. She's crazy. She's got that X factor.
So yeah, I mean, I want to see the MCU succeed just as equally, John. I'm very much looking forward to Aquaman 2 coming out and then flying away, or swimming away, as it were, and then and then having the DC.
That movie has so much stacked against it. Do you think it has any possibility of doing well? When something like Blue Beetle, which I think had heart, Blue Beetle had a lot of heart, got eviscerated, right? I know you weren't as big a fan of it, but do you think Aquaman has a chance in hell? You guys in the comments, let us know. Are you buying your ticket to see Aquaman if they announce that it's coming out?
It is coming out December.
December, yeah. I feel like they're gonna at last minute pull it.
No.
Add it to the shelf next to Batgirl, and be like, oh yeah, sorry, we reconsidered. Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, you guys are going right next to Batgirl here, and maybe one day you'll see the light of day.
No, I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it over the holidays. I'm not gonna go opening weekend, but I'll go over the holidays because I just feel like I want to end that chapter of the DCEU.
You want to?
Listen, man. I've gone and seen everything else. You've
come this far. You're not gonna stop.
Right.
Just and then like I'm going watching to all of those Flash seasons. You're like, I gotta ride out this DC universe, DC EU. Oh man, I hope they don't have a scene with babies falling out of a boat and Aquaman has to save them or something like that. Jesus Christ. Well, shout out to if you guys haven't seen Flash. You are in for a treat.
Yeah. So I want it to be over and I want to take a year off. I do need closure, bro. I want to take a year
off. I'll read a summary. If the reviews come back and start saying it, I've been gotten too many times in 2023, right, Rob? So many movies we went to see in 2023 have been, I feel like, letdowns.
You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember like when you were like in high school and you were dating that girl and like you broke up, but you were like, I just want like one more kiss, or I just want to like we need to have sex one more time. I need that closure. And then like it never works out the way you think in your head. That's how I feel it's gonna be for Aquaman.
Every rom-com moment in TV shows, shout outs to Friends, is always like, I need closure.
Please, I just need a closure. I'll feel better about myself once I'm done watching Aquaman 2, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you the next day and be like, John, Aquaman 2 was horrible. I wish I never went to see
So Scott brings up a good point. Can Aquaman 2 be as bad? Will it top the heap in bad sequels? So Wonder Woman 84 is uncontested as top of the follow-up.
Do you still think that that's true? That is the worst DCEU movie?
What would be in contention with it? Suicide
I gotta
Squad
tell you, man. I gotta tell you, the David Ayer Suicide Squad does not hold up. Man.
I was gonna say at least Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in that movie. You want to watch her do her thing. She did a really good job. Will Smith, whatever you think of him, it was fun to see Will Smith be a DC character, despite how much that writing and character didn't line up with Will Smith. But
I got a better one. What about Shazam 2? Or even The Flash? Like, in all honesty,
I don't think Flash is as bad as Wonder Woman 84. At least it's watchable. Wonder Woman 84, I think it's 100% unwatchable. I think we can start a whole nother episode. Well, we'll start another episode right now at 9 on flaming how bad Wonder Woman 84 is.
You know what, John?
If you guys got a suggestion for what's worse than Wonder Woman 84,
you know what, John?
I'll open it up. It doesn't even have to be a DC movie. Movies in life.
You know what? Oh, Howard the Duck. You know what, John?
No, Howard the Duck. Come on. You got the
You know what, buddy?
I think with the duck in the bathtub in the shower, that's gonna be worth a load.
I think I think we've just decided on what our movie of November is going to be.
Hell no, I'm never watching this movie ever again.
Wonder Woman 84.
Never gonna happen again. I would entertain Suicide Squad at least. Rewatching that. But yeah, shout outs to if this Suicide Squad director's cut ever happens, I feel like it doesn't exist. That's why David Ayer can run his mouth. Although I like a lot of Ayer's other projects, so it would be nice.
Yeah, man.
If they're
great.
Some type of director's cut, then I want to see it. I do want to see it. DC, you know what else are you doing? Releasing Aquaman 2? Put Aquaman 2 on the shelf. Pull Suicide Squad director's cut off and release that. You can do the switcheroo. You can let people buy Aquaman 2 tickets, and all of a sudden, Suicide Squad director's cut is a secret reveal. And I think you might be okay. You might be okay.
I don't know, man.
We'll see. I don't know.
Well, that's a DC. We'll have to discuss our DC problems another day. Probably sometime in December once this movie comes out. But I don't know if we've been able to figure out how best to make the MCU a better version of itself. But I think
it's Taylor Swift and the X-Men. That's it. That's
Taylor
the answer.
Swift, X-Men, and stop.
It's the most bonkers answer you've ever heard this year. Taylor Swift plus X-Men. I never thought I'd be saying that, but
and no more movie, no more TV series. We're done.
TV series, yeah. You think they just take it off straight up, or are you gonna wait and see Echo first before you say, "Hey"?
I am gonna go see Echo. I can't because that trailer does look pretty lit. I'm pretty excited for that, and I am excited. Listen, I got my tickets for Saturday afternoon. I'm excited to go see the Marvels. That's this Friday. It comes out.
Yeah. So if you're not going to go see the Marvels, buy a ticket, go see it. If not, just see it for the charm that is Iman. And hopefully the rest of the movie is good, or if it's not good, she will be the shining star for sure. It really sucks that I'll just single her out, that she's not able to go and promote this. She's not able to have a red carpet premiere. She's not able to be on interviews and Jimmy Fallon and whatever show she wants to appear on. That sucks. That really sucks. And we're really, really sad about that. So hopefully things get resolved. Yeah.
Gord comes out and says, "No way, Loki season 2 has done so much good." Okay, well, you missed the beginning, Gord. I actually said I've really enjoyed Loki season 2. However, Loki as a character means nothing to the TV series. That's the reality.
The show is like, Loki by title only.
It's Bob the janitor. It wouldn't have made a difference. But yes,
with that said, what of Secret Invasion, Gord? What of Secret Invasion?
What a pant load. So bad. So bad. It's so bad, I would be fine if we never saw Nick Fury again. That's how bad it was.
Wowza.
Yeah, I know we're going to see him in the Marvels. Maybe he'll be redeeming in that. But to be honest with you, I couldn't give two flying farts.
Yeah. He's in something new, right? Samuel Jackson. He's in that movie where the girl writes a book about spies and they become and it comes true or something like that. I don't remember. With Argyle, is he not in the Argyle movie?
Sam Jackson. I don't know if he is or not. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I saw him in something recently. Anyways, yeah, we don't talk about. I don't know. It's hard not to talk about Secret Invasion, and I didn't even watch it, and I refuse to watch it. I'm not going to see it. But anyways,
the first episode, right?
Of what, Secret Invasion?
Yeah.
No, I barely watched the trailer.
Any of it.
I didn't watch none of it, dude.
Oh, okay.
I could care less.
What was I doing? Why do I do this?
Why did you torture yourself? When you came back and said it's you know, like first couple episodes, I'd ask people how is it, and they'd be like, I don't know, it's slow burn, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna rush to watch this thing.
Oh, that reminds me.
No, yeah.
That reminds me. I couldn't remember what the other TV show was. Okay, before we go, I gotta tell you this.
Yeah,
Bodies on Netflix. It's based on a Vertigo comic. I think it's eight episodes. It's called Bodies. It's absolutely, really, really. I do all the side quests. I grind away to get my 100%. You gotta check it out. And Scott, I actually meant to message you. I will say this: the first 2 episodes are they feel slow. You're like, what am I watching here?
Yeah. When
you get to like episode 3, you're like, holy crap! If you were a fan, even a little bit of the TV series Dark, it's got a little bit dark-ish nuances in it. But Bodies on Netflix is a very good show. And again, it's based on a DC Vertigo comic.
Oh, cool. All right, Rob, since you watched Secret Invasion and Wonder Woman 84, what wins in a fight? Wonder Woman 84, Secret Invasion. I know we're comparing movies and TV shows, but I opened it up to anything under the sun.
Wonder Woman 84. Hands down, right? It was a rocket. That's why.
Meaning you would watch Wonder Woman 84 before you watch Secret Invasion again?
Yes. In fact, I would get Wonder Woman 84 tattooed on my body before I would watch
Over Secret Invasion.
again.
Yeah, okay. I feel like that's an unfair comparison though, because the comparison is watching. Oh man, was Wonder Woman a 3-hour movie? Versus watching a 6-hour, 8-hour TV show. I feel like you're just gonna go for the shorter time in the prison that you are designated.
Yeah.
Which is anyway. So in short, folks, the only way to save the MCU is to add Taylor Swift and increase your Marvel sales by 400% a la football jerseys. And I'm sure if we could see the NFL's book on their ratings and how many people have discovered football because of being a Taylor Swift fan, it would be a staggering number. I think it would surprise a lot of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god. Yeah. You know what? Before I watched Secret Invasion, I would rather see who was that character that showed up in She-Hulk that was hanging out with Wong. I would watch her show.
Hanging out with
I don't remember what her name is. Something with 2 L's or something with
the drunk girl with the margarita.
I would watch that show and it could just be her on a live stream just drinking. Or hanging out and watching TV with Wong. I would watch that show. Madison with 2 eyes or something like that, or 2 D's, and you don't know where the second eye. I don't remember what the gag was. But I'd rather watch that. Anyways, thank you everybody for giving us your Sunday night, November 5th. We're getting close to Christmas, folks. So get your Christmas stuff ready. I don't know what we're gonna do in December, Rob. Schedule's gonna get wacky. But thanks for hanging out with us on this Sunday night. And we hope to see you again next week.
We'll have a guest next week.
Yeah, we'll have some guests.
Guest is on our socials. But
Madeline. Yeah.
No, I think it was Madison. I think you're right.
Madeline. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're never gonna watch that show again either.
No.
Oh my God. Sorry, Marvel. We bashed you a lot today.
I'm gonna go watch Peacemaker instead.
And it's justified. Oh yeah, Peacemaker. Yeah, let's watch Peacemaker again.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you everybody. Have a good night. Otherwise, we'll be here all evening. It's like the second show where we just bitch about Wonder Woman 84.
All right, go watch Bodies. Go watch Bodies.
Go watch Bodies. Rob actually recommends it. He didn't just say it's okay. You should watch it.
No, it's good. Go see it.
Anyways.
All right. Everybody.
See you guys next time. Thanks so much.